Here's another thing that's probably calling to all of us right now. Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feels like I'm walking on marbles. Can't still the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling? I can feel my heart begin to pound. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. A long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't see the light that moves me. If God is everything and everywhere that I belong, Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, pull me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, I know I'm not the only one to live inside these blues. Oh Lord, I give my life, I give my love to you. Oh Lord, I surrender my life to you. Oh Lord, I give my life, I give my love to you. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Faith is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Spirit's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. 'Cause God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been
Thank you, Jamie Lula. Wasn't that a beautiful way to begin? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, your universal neighborhood elevation station. So we're happy you tuned in. Oh, I see somebody just said, good morning, everyone. That was John Zoll. Well, good morning to you, John Zoll. Wonderful that you're here with us today. And the Greater Philadelphia the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm getting centered here, is a place where we teach and we practice spiritual principles for very practical use of tools that we provide for daily living. Our vision is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Our mission is co-creating a world that works for all. And what we say right here in Paoli, Pennsylvania, and say it with me if you know it, is that our purpose is living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. It works so well, we're going to have an opening song now. And that's written by and performed here by Jim Wade. Are we ready?
Here we go. This is my home. You are my family. Let's now embrace the challenge of being all that we can be. In this sacred space, I invite love and compassion, connecting, supporting, welcoming. I open my heart. You are home. Step into this love. You are home. This is my home. You are my family. Let's now embrace the challenge of being all that we can be. In this sacred space, I invite love and compassion, connecting, supporting, welcoming. I open my heart. We are home. Step into this love. We are home.
Thank you, Elise, and thank you, Jim, for having written that wonderful welcoming song. It opens my heart every time I hear it. And speaking of heart opening, this might be a good time to have a little guided meditation. So will you get where you are so relaxed and so comfortable that we can together dive a little more deeply into the center of all love and all wisdom and peace. Definitely peace. So as we take a deep breath of life and then exhale any sense of concern or separation, we realize that we are being breathed by the Great Spirit itself, and that this divine circulation continues to take place all the time, wherever we may be, and let us become more conscious of it now. The beautiful recirculation of life moving through our bodies, through our emotions, through our minds, helping us to dive more deeply into the center of sacred love and deep peace. As we enter our hearts and feel ourselves being enfolded, embraced by divine arms, we rest and we begin to allow ourselves to develop a deeper and a truer perspective. So imagine, if you will, a turbulent ocean something like the perfect storm, with boats being tossed about and the shore being beaten by wave after wave, dark clouds and dark sky. And it's as though the waves are angry, but they're simply being the expression of the ocean itself. And now let that picture change so that the clouds dissolve until they are completely gone. The sun comes out and shines down now upon a beautiful calm sea. And the sun is shining so brightly upon this sea that it appears that there are diamonds in the water. And here you are at the side of the ocean, right there on the shore, experiencing the serenity of the sea, the peace of the planet, the love of all humankind. And as this has been transformed, let's realize that any energy, and all is energy, can be transformed from chaos to order, from anger to compassion. Let's simply allow ourselves to be in this place of peace, place of deeper knowing and understanding, and rest in the silent space within our hearts as we all come to this golden silence now and allow it to permeate us with its sweetness and its gentle power. And this is not only the peace that passeth understanding, it truly is the peace that brings understanding. And we seek to understand. And we seek serenity, not only for ourselves, but for all the world, just as we seek justice for ourselves and for all the world. And so deep, deep, deep within and underneath all the supposed upsets and the real upsets in the world or within ourselves lies a sea of serenity, infinite harmony, holding us, lifting us, and allowing us to transform. So what's true, what's really true, is that all is well, and all manner of things are well. Now we have an opening spiritual mind treatment affirmative prayer from one of our practitioners who has tuned in, and that's Joe Lurquin. Come on, Joe.
Good morning. Welcome to this service, this wondrous place, this wonderful Greater Philadelphia Centers for Spiritual Living. I am Joe Lurquin, and I am your practitioner today. I'm going to do your opening treatment. And I want to thank Maxine, Dr. Maxine, and Reverend Mike for bringing this together and putting this all together for us this wonderful Sunday. I know this is the truth, and I know this is a wondrous place. And I'm very mindful of everything that I have and everything that is possible and everything that is in this teaching and in this knowing. And I'll state this treatment in the first person and invite you to take it for yourself. Here is what I know. I know that I am the Spirit of God. I know that the Spirit of God is in me. I uncover the perfection that is me.
I know freedom and joy are mine today. There is nothing in me that can obstruct this. I am conscious of my infinite wisdom directing me. I am knowing and affirming that each of us love, peace, and joy as we consciously come together and create and celebrate this moment, this day, this season. I am grateful for this knowing and for the joyful expression of this teaching. I release this knowing it is already completed, it is already done, for there is no delay. As we say together, and so it is.
Thank you, Joe. It was as if you were right here. Well, you were in the most perfect sense. Now I would like to speak to the kids. Are you there? You're still in your pajamas? Well, that's good. I would be too if I didn't have to be here. Okay. You have chores, right? Yes. But isn't it fun? Doesn't it feel good to do what you know it needs to be done to be a part of the family structure? Of course you do. For instance, if you didn't set the table, would your family have to eat with their hands? If you decided not to take out the garbage, wouldn't it get kind of smelly after a while? You know, there's reasons that we do the chores that have been assigned to us. You know, one activity that's really puzzling for kids. Why do I have to make my bed when it's just going to get messed up again? I don't know the answer to that, but do it anyway. So those are all hand chores. What about heart activities? You've seen signs if you've been to the airport. Do you remember airports? They're a fading memory. But you've seen signs in the airport that say, if you see something, say something. Well, what does that mean? That means if you see a bag or a package that's left somewhere and no one's around to claim it, you should tell the folks in charge about it so they can investigate and see if it needs attention. If you saw a kid being bullied, would you say something to an adult who could step in and do something about it? If you want to help people who don't have too much to eat right now, well, you could ask your parents to pick up some extra food, or maybe even buy some with your own money, and then ask your parents to drive you around to people who could use the food. You leave it on their doorsteps, ring the bell and run. That's really a fun kind of activity. So think about what is yours to do. It won't be the same for everybody, but you have something to give. Always you have something to give, even if it's a smile and some encouragement to another person. I'm glad you're with us today. We miss you. We love you. We know that your lives are just beautiful, and that where you are right now, God is blessing you abundantly. Now, this is normally the time when we have a demonstration of good. There's nobody here right now to tell you something wonderful that's happened in their lives, but we will be receiving your videos and be happy to show them. We can work that in just like we do our practitioners and our announcers. And so let me know. We would love to have that. So since we don't have one today, I will simply ask if you would join me in repeating today's affirmation. I follow the guidance of infinite spirit within me to accomplish all that my heart instructs me to do, and I am content. Well, I think it's time for the talk. Here comes the talk. Are you ready for the talk? Marcus Aurelius, centuries ago in ancient Rome, said, I do what is mine to do. The rest does not disturb me. I think that's very important anytime, but particularly right now, because we see so much that needs our attention, our help, our lifting, are embracing. We see so much that it can be quite confusing. We can actually get compassion fatigue. So it's important to know that we are to do what is ours to do and let the rest not disturb us. That's a big order, isn't it? Especially right now. Oh my gosh. Global events are revving up, and we aren't always too sure what to do. COVID-19, now all of the questions are coming up, and unfortunately there's embattlement going on among people who are saying, we need to open right now. And others saying, let's open slowly and intelligently. And others are saying, not yet. Is there a way we can have civil conversations about this and do what is wise? It's there's something brewing, and we need to bring our better selves to it. More to the point right now. After George Floyd was murdered, there are protests all over the country, rebellions, and some have become riots. Doubtfully, these are always the same people who began the peaceful protests. We don't know the answer to that right now, but I have some doubts that the peaceful people who are protesting and who are rebelling in a healthy way and making their voices known, and usually these protests take place when people who have not had a voice finally must speak. Appropriate anger makes differences. It can change things. We can use anger. It's just an energy. And it can be revelatory. It teaches us something is wrong. Something needs to change. But there is a deep structural inequality, deep structural inequality in our society, which must be addressed. It must be transformed. By the way, transformation is not for sissies. You've heard the phrase, pain is necessary, suffering is optional. This is a painful time, but please let's not suffer through it. Let's not become so engaged mentally, emotionally in the uproar and in the fear and in the not knowing that we forget who we are and what truly is ours to do. Birth and rebirth are messy. We're living in messy times. Some people have said messianic times. It's not easy, and it's one of the most important times we have ever lived on this planet. We have such a great opportunity to look at the stuff that is becoming so unsettling and so confusing and so hateful in many ways. We need to look at it, but then it all begins with each one of us beginning to transform our own consciousness in order to join together and make a difference in our communities and in our world itself. So how can we know how to respond? We know it's not helpful to react. We prefer to respond. We have the responsibility, yes, the ability to respond in a healthy way, to respond in a way that connects us instead of divides us. That's what I want to really focus on in my life right now. Well, the best way I know to find out what is mine to do and how to respond to something that seems so difficult is to listen deeply to my intuition, truly hearing the divine guidance within. That voice is not to be drowned out by the external voices. And yes, we listen politely, or at least semi-politely, to outside opinion. But let's take it very lightly and then dive deeply into infinite wisdom. See, each of us has a very special and unique gift to give. Many gifts, probably not just one. And our lives become fuller when we access these gifts and begin to give them. You've heard the phrase, don't let your music die in you. That song wouldn't be repeating itself in your heart over and over again if it were not yours to do. It is yours to sing. So if you have a talent for mediating, this is the time. We need you. Why not use it for these current events? Our Braver Angels organization, for instance, where people who are so divided politically come together for meetings and workshops and learn to respect each other, listen instead of shouting at each other, become respectful and appreciative of each other. You see, we have all of this division going on, and people without masks are yelling at the people with masks to take them off. People with masks are yelling at, no, I'm not sure they are, but maybe they are. They're disappointed at least in the people who aren't. Can we simply do the right thing and not point fingers and make scapegoats out of people? Let's do what we know is appropriate for us to do. These racial conflicts, they're just tearing our hearts out. I saw a video the other day that I found heartening. And it was a line of white women in Louisville who were standing between protesters and the police. It was just last Thursday. If we can learn to sit with people who mistrust each other and help them find common ground, that will go so far in healing what needs to be healed and listening with our hearts and learning to respect people and remembering our unity that underlies everything else. If you're a mediator or you have those gifts, come on and speak up and show up. And let's help to have people understand and truly care about each other. Living a life of purpose really begins with knowing what significant part is ours to play. And sometimes it can also mean knowing what is not ours to do. Not everybody should be on the front lines. Thank God for those brave nurses, doctors, hospital workers on the front lines, the EMTs, all who are putting their own lives and their own families at risk at times by taking care of the sickest of the sick. But we're not on those front lines, nor do we need to be unless we are some of those brave people who are qualified to be there. But we can be moved. We can be moved to write our community and our federal leaders. We can write columns to the editor. We can join groups dismantling racism. They are available everywhere. Now, of course, they're being produced on Zoom, or you can take classes on Zoom to learn how to speak and learn how to listen and ultimately learn how to love. So the great explosions going on around the world need to be quelled, because we cannot fight fire with fire or everybody gets burned up. We need to bring more love And isn't it interesting in this messy time of rebirth? Everything out there makes it seem as though it's not possible to love. It's essential to love no matter what. I'm teaching a class on the gentle art of blessing right now. We need to be blessing, blessing, blessing. Every time a fear thought arises, bless ourselves. Every time there is unrest going on within us or outside of us, let's bless everybody involved. No exceptions. Every single individual involved, let's bless them all. So we need to know what is ours to do. We need to know what is not ours to do. For instance, a trumpet player may not be the right person to establish meditation music. But she certainly would be the right one to play reveille, wouldn't she? I wouldn't ask a stonemason to bake me a cake. But I would love to have him create a new patio for me. We need to be true to ourselves and get clear about what our gifts are. And then give them. We must give them. But let it be that which is ours to do, not someone else's idea about what is ours to do. That's a big one to get beyond. Our beloved spiritual leader of the Centers for Spiritual Living, Edward Viljoen, recently sent out a video that included Centers for Spiritual Living invitation to action. And I'd like to read it to you. You must make use of the tools you have been given as a human being, starting with a beautiful mind. A mind to contemplate love, to meditate on peace, and to embody oneness for all. A physical body to experience the world. You have your 5 senses to see, to hear, to feel, to taste, and to touch. You have a mouth to speak words of love. You have hands to take action and to be of service to others. This inspires me. This reminds me that we must do the deep dive within and allow this infinite guidance to show us what is ours to do. It needs to begin, of course, within each of us. Now, you know how I love the prayer of St. Francis. And I have come to realize that each phrase refers to what is within us. When we're asking hatred to be replaced with love and so forth, let it be speaking to ourselves today. Let it be addressing our subconscious mind, where there may be old patterns and beliefs and things that don't serve us. So as I read these words, if you would, kindly speak them to your inner self. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. We all have that which is ours to do. Let's move beyond the uncertainty of what that may be. And when it gets too loud out there, let's not react to it. Let us respond with love. Let us live up to the gifts we've been given, starting with the instrumentation of our own being, through which Spirit desires to express, must express. Let's let ourselves evolve moment by moment into the greater iteration of ourselves that we know is possible during this rebirth process. And let's not forget that we're not doing any of this alone. We are joining with other light workers all over the planet in order to do what we came here to do. You have heard me say, and I will say it again, that we are the ones we've been waiting for. Let's stand tall in principle. Let's speak out for justice, for harmony, for mutuality, for equality, for wholeness, for love, for wisdom, for union. This is the time. We are the people. Will you say with me, I follow the divine, I follow the guidance of infinite wisdom. It lives within me. It instructs me in all that is mine to do. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Thank you. And now is our offertory time. We're so grateful that we have people all over the country who tune in to us, not only for our Sunday mornings, but also for our Monday through Saturday love notes that Reverend Mike and I are happy to share with you from our living room. We're happy that you support us. We're grateful for your contributions. And we ask, please, that you continue, maybe even increase. We want to make sure we're here when you are ready to come back and be in this beautiful sanctuary. And as you know, you go to our website, there you are, and here, if you can look at the screen, and of course you can, you'll see there are many beautiful ways that you can continue to keep this beloved community alive and thriving so that we can all be alive and thriving. And so now we're going to have our offertory. We will read the affirmation in a moment, and the music is going to be What Is Mine to Give by Karen Drucker with Elise and our music team. So please say with me, I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is.
What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? what is mine to do. All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. Last time. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? I give it to you.
That we do not know the truth. Good morning! So happy to see you. Spot and I are so happy to see you. Welcome to Masterpiece Announcements. I am your host, Payson Burt. I have some wonderful, wonderful announcements for you. First of all, do you know what came before the Big Bang? I heard it was a small pop. But besides that, the questions remain. Where did we come from? Why are we here? What is consciousness? What is the goal of evolution? Well, Frank Henniger will be offering a great workshop, which is a blend of lecture, class discussion, and group exercises called The Cosmic Mind, a philosophical exploration of cosmology. That's a tongue twister. And consciousness. It starts this Wednesday, June 3rd, and runs for 4 sessions from 6:30 to 9 p.m. If you want to sign up, you must email Linda at admin@cslphilly.com today or Monday morning at the very latest. Next, have you ever been curious about the Science of Mind textbook? Here it is. It's almost as big as the Mayo Clinic textbook. Maybe you're overwhelmed with its size and even think, how could I even begin to study this? Well, we have the perfect solution. Beginning Saturday, June 20th, from 10 to 11 a.m., Reverend Mike is going to start a 1-hour class which will run each Saturday until he completes the whole book. You can join at any time. This is free. Love offerings are graciously accepted. By emailing Reverend Mike at revmike at cslphilly.org. For more details, go to our events calendar on our spanking new website, www.cslphilly.org, where you can also view past Sunday celebrations and Dr. Maxine and Reverend Mike's daily love notes. Demonstrations. We would love to hear of any wonderful experiences you have had as a result of spiritual mind treatment, better known as affirmative prayer spot. Just contact Dr. Maxine. Her phone number is 760-574-2490, or you can also text her at that number. Now, I do understand that many of you are a little shy about getting in front of a camera and sending in a video. I know exactly how you feel. But you also can email Dr. Maxine. She would be happy to read it on air on Sunday. You can find her email address at csl.org. Oh, and one more thing. We will be holding a Zoom social today, right after our Sunday celebration. So grab your cup of coffee and get in your comfy shoes and join us on your computer or iPhone. And enter this ID number when you join us. I hope, Jeff, you have this right at the tip of my finger, a nice little text box. 863-4418-2398. And now, Spot and I hope you have a most wonderful day, and thank you for joining us for the announcements.
I don't know about you, but I would come to this every Sunday if Pace and Bert were doing the announcements. Thank you, sir. Or do I say, my lord? That was so fun. Now we're going to have our closing song. This was written by Karen Drucker, and it's called I Know, and it's performed by Emily Zoll and Jeff Messino. And so thank you for tuning in. Let's keep meeting this way, okay? Shall we sing?
I don't know how I know, but I know that I know. I need to remember that I know. Yes, I know, I know. I need to trust that I know.
I know.
'Cause it's so obvious that I know.
I know.
Tell my head that I know. 'Cause my heart knows that I know. When I trust that I know, then I forget how much I know. If I breathe and surrender, I remember that I know. Why do I doubt?
Do I doubt?
That I know.
I know.
Who else but me would know?
Would know.
When I forget, you can remind me that I know, I always know. When I trust that I know, then I forget how much I know. If I breathe and surrender, I remember that I know. I'm gonna trust
Trust.
that I know.
I
Every
know.
day tell myself that I know.
I know.
If I forget, please remind me that I know, I always know.
I know.
Yes, I know, I
know.
always know.
I know.
Oh, I know, I always, every day I know.
And we do know that deep within us is that intuitive knowing that is guiding us this moment and every moment to come to the highest good for ourselves and all the beloveds in this world. And so it is.